the morning after, and I just want to make one more video about this whole Villanova UNC game last night for the NCAA tournament basketball men's championship. And it's the next day, and it's like, did this really happen? Because it's like this culture of losing in this city and falling short and choking, and even like, when is the choke going to happen? When is the ultimate dagger going to stab us in the heart? I thought it actually did stab us, but we'll get to that in a second. I just want to sum up my thoughts and just how good this feels. How unreal this feels. How unexpected this feels. The video I made last night, I made literally within 10 seconds after Chris Jenkins hits that game-winning three-pointer for Villanova. And I was literally, what that title of that video said, I was speechless. I didn't want to turn on a camera and trash talk University of North Carolina and their fans and rub it in their face or anything like that. I was just speechless. I was like, this something had to have gone wrong. This wasn't supposed to happen. Like, even when the shot went up, when the Chris Jenkins and the shot went in, I was like, okay, he had to have double dribbled. He traveled. There was a foul committed by Villanova off the ball. There's something. It's gonna be reviewed. There is no way it is gonna end this epically in favor of Philadelphia. There is no way that this is going to be one of the single greatest championship game endings in the history of any sport. There is no way. Something is going to turn this around. This can't be. I can't comprehend in my mind that this is going to happen, that this is going to be that positive for Philadelphia, that something like this that is going to be replayed time and time and time and time again. You think that Christian Laettner shot got replayed time and time again? You ain't seen nothing yet. That almost called him Christian Jenkins, that Chris Jenkins shot. That Chris Jenkins shot. And for it to come after that Marcus Page miracle shot, I'm sitting there, and I even tweeted out after that Marcus Page shot went in, that off-balance double pump three-pointer, and I'm like, so that's what it's got to be. It's got to be the most epically painful ending for a Philadelphia team. That's how it's going to go down. It's going to go to overtime, and they're going to rat us out. But I didn't lose faith. And that's the thing about it. Like, I even tweeted out, I said, this has to end in the most epically fucking painful way as possible. But Nova, you better get it done in the last 4.7 seconds. Four 0.7 seconds, Villanova goes down court. Archie, get a kick that this last name is Archie Diacono. Archie takes the ball down, dishes off to Chris Jenkins, who takes a very healthy three-pointer from about 4 feet beyond the three-point range, and cashes that shit to end the game. I can only imagine what it feels like to be a member of the University of North Carolina Tar Heels basketball team and their fans. But I wore a shirt to remind you who you are. Little Philadelphia in this video. Anyway, Red Letter Media, repping it. Anyway, sorry, I just had to get that one thing in to rub it in their face. Trust me, they're suffering enough. The worst I could say is not going to top the amount they are suffering right now. Oh my God. Carolina just had to put up with that. Whatever you want to call that was, I was going to say like a mass suicide in the Super Bowl, but Jesus Christ. Carolina has to follow up that Super Bowl performance with this performance again in a championship game, back to back. I don't want to rub it in any fan of Carolina sports right now because, again, there's nothing I could say face-rubbing wise that is going to make them feel worse than what they're feeling. Having to watch their professional football team and then their men's basketball team, who, frankly, all the analysts and a lot of the analysts, and I don't know, maybe I was just looking for this shit, but everyone seemed to be picking North Carolina in this game, and I'm like, what were you watching? What were you watching? This Villanova team was red hot, marching through the tournament, took care of Kansas, did God's work and took care of the mighty Kansas and removed them from the tournament and opened the door for someone else. That door they opened was for themselves. Came in as the underdog after what they did to Oklahoma? They're going to come into the final game as the underdog? What the hell were spread makers looking at? Like this UNC team has done anything with this squad recently, like in the past few years. I tell you, I've been down on this Villanova team for years. Like, and to be fair, it ain't like I'm some hardcore college basketball fan. I'm not going to paint myself as one. In fact, there's many college sports that I just can't stand watching, like college football. But every year I watch this tournament and the excitement that it is. It's the one thing that lures me into college sports every year. And this time, a team repping my city came out on top, and it feels so good. Holy shit. I'm just proud for the city of Philadelphia. By the way, fuck all you Temple and St. Joe's alum that are just hating on Villanova just for the sake of a rivalry. Just hating on them because they're from a slice of upper-class suburbia. I don't care if Villanova plays in the richest, whitest, whatever sector of the suburbs anywhere, or the deepest dungeon of the ghetto, that whatever. It doesn't matter. They won. I don't care where they're from. These kids did such a great job, and these people are hating on them. Even in Philadelphia, people are hating on them just because of some inner city rivalry between St. Joe's and Temple. Weak sauce. Weak sauce. Celebrate with the city. Come on. But again, I ain't some hardcore college sports fan. I'm not going to paint myself to be that. I'm proud for this team. I'm proud for this city. I'm proud that the school that one of my favorite Eagles, who he played his college ball at, Brian Westbrook, his alma mater, came out with a national championship. To see him getting happy on Twitter about it, oh man. It's just so surreal. Like, I can't even put this into words how surreal this is. Like, something that is going to be echoed till the end of time. Every time the tournament comes around, it's going to be mentioned that Chris Jenkins shot to win the game. That Marcus Page shot that almost won the game. I'll tell you what, man, when Villanova was up by 10 with about 5 minutes left, and that lead got chipped away, I'll tell you what. Two unsung things that I want to point out in this game that are just, and rightfully so, completely lost because they weren't anywhere near as pivotal as that Chris Jenkins three-pointer to win the game, as that goes without saying. But right before the end of halftime, before the start of halftime and the end of the first half, there was, I think, one of the most crucial plays of the game. And the second one, a series of plays I'll get to in a second. North Carolina is turning the tide of the game completely, retakes the lead before halftime, and commits a turnover, which Villanova takes down court and gets an easy field goal to stop the bleeding and turn momentum back. Villanova doesn't get that. You're looking at a 6-point lead for UNC going into the second half, And that is a completely different game, especially if Villanova was to go down and just throw up a brick or something and go into halftime with that. Getting that deficit down to 4 points at halftime was huge. And to score an easy shot with a few seconds left before halftime was so huge. That was one of the biggest plays of the game. One of the equally bigger series of plays in the game was where UNC had to start fouling Villanova players. But what Villanova had to do was keep that deficit at 3 points. And they hit free throws to do that. Hitting free throws when you're just some teenage kid or maybe your early 20s at the oldest, would know when the national title is on the line and you're talking about a minute and change left in the game, and you're sinking 2 free throws, the next guy gets fouled, he's sinking 2 free throws. That was so huge, and stuff like that is going to be lost in this game. But again, it's a team sport. We all know the whole team of Villanova was the reason why they won this game. It's just unreal that something this good, this memorable, this spectacular happened to a Philadelphia team. And the one thing that made it that much sweeter was all the suffering and losing we've had to put up with in this city. If anything, I feel kind of shortchanged myself because I've never gravitated fully, committed to a college basketball team like I have with the Sixers, the Flyers, the Phillies, the Eagles, teams like that. Like, hell, I watched more regular season. I watched 10 times more regular season Sixers games than I did regular season Villanova games. And for the record, the Sixers would still beat Villanova. I know, like, people are tweeting that to me. I'm like, come on. Like Okafor and Noel would dominate the paint against much smaller guys. I mean, if you just look at the size comparison, I know, well, the size comparison between UNC and Villanova was pretty differential, but I come on, you're talking about any NBA team is an all-star team of collegiate players. But anyway, that aside, who cares? I wish that I could enjoy this more, and it's not saying I didn't enjoy this much at all. But I wish I could enjoy this more. I wish I could have jumped on, because I am kind of bandwagoning to this. But in a way I'm not, because I'm just being loyal to the city that I live in. But I wish I was truly one of these fans. And I'm so proud for friends of mine that have gone to Villanova. I know people at Villanova. And just, I feel, I was like, I wish I could be as joyful as them. But I'm still happy nonetheless. It was still epicness personified. And it's one of the greatest moments in sports. It's going to go down as one of the greatest championship games of all time. And it's a team repping the city of Philadelphia. Like, I'm hearing myself say that, and I'm like, how can that be? Like, how is that possible? Villanova, thank you 1,000 times over, because goddamn, it feels good. It feels damn good for finally once being the winner. That is all. And the Phillies won too. To be fair, they won during my lifetime. The other Philly teams that won, I was just too young to remember. But anyways, Villanova. You the man. Men, whatever, boys, teens. Fuck it. That's a week ending. Have a good day, guys.